Germany's chancellor is the first world leader to meet with President Donald Trump since the war began. The U.S. military campaign has upended the planned agenda for the visit. The two leaders spoke with reporters, and Trump has offered shifting versions of why the war needed to happen. Here he is explaining his motivation.
If we don't stop them, or if we didn't stop them, or if we didn't start, they've been decimated. But if we didn't do what we're doing right now, you would have had a nuclear war and they would have taken out many countries, because you know what? They're sick people. They're mentally ill, sick people. They're angry, they're crazy, they're sick.
The CBC's Chris Reyes leads off our in-depth coverage. He joins us live from New York. Hello to you, Chris. This was the most extensive question and answer session from President Trump since the attack on Iran. Can you walk us through what he said?
Good afternoon, Andrew. Certainly an extensive question and answer by President Donald Trump, but I think this extensive Q&A will likely raise more questions than answers at this point. I think this is a country looking for clarity on exactly why this attack happened at this particular time. And every time President Trump or any of his top officials face the cameras, they seem to give, as you mentioned, those shifting positions. You know, we've heard varying reasons for why the U.S. allied with Israel to attack Iran over the weekend, from regime change, which is what we heard from President Trump soon after the attacks happened, to Vice President J.D. Vance saying in a recent interview that this was about obliterating Iran's nuclear capability, even though President Trump said last June that that happened with those attacks of Iran's nuclear facilities. We also heard from Secretary of State Marco Rubio that they had learned that Israel was planning to attack Iran, and that would have resulted in counterattacks against American interests, and that's why they decided to join Israel. But with this extensive Q&A from President Trump, he seems to muck up a little bit more of those reasonings. He started with exactly what triggered him to take this action in the first place. This is what he said.
You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that.
And then, Andrew, Trump was asked whether Israel had forced the hand of the U.S., likely in reference to Rubio's comments on Capitol Hill yesterday, that they had found out about Israel's decision to take action against Iran. And he gave this answer with Marco Rubio in the room.
Based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand. But Israel was ready and we were ready, and we've had a very, very powerful impact, because virtually everything they have has been knocked out now.
And what you did hear in those comments, Andrew, from President Trump is a resolve and obviously a confidence in the actions that the U.S. has taken. But again, if clarity was what was being sought after with these comments, certainly many people probably likely asking more questions following those remarks from the president.
And there's more to come this afternoon from the Trump administration. Tell us what's happening.
Yeah, that's right. So in about 2 hours or so, there will be an all-senators briefing on Capitol Hill that will be attended by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff John Kane. They will be briefing Congress, so we'll get more extensive comments there. This is all happening as we're finding out more about the public opinion with regards to this U.S. military action. A recent CNN poll, Andrew, says that 41% approve of this action, 59% disapprove of the decision to take military action in Iran. And again, we're in the early days as the American public reacts reacts to this and reacts to an administration that is going into another conflict, as there are many domestic issues happening here in the U.S. That the president promised he would act on, and many in his base wondering whether President Trump is going to be addressing those while he's busy with these foreign actions.
Chris, thank you. That is the CBC's Chris Reyes live in New York.